Man, what's going on, everybody? Swagged out, and you already know why I'm here. And man, today I have a special fragrance to share with you. And the reality is that you may never smell this fragrance. You may never see this fragrance in person. This fragrance is not in stores, and it's technically not even for sale to the general public. I didn't buy this. It was sent to me, and it was sent to me for a very particular reason. This fragrance can only be found in Camp David, the Camp David, the presidential retreat. And the reason it can only be found there is because it was created for Camp David. And I'm sure you already read, if you're watching this already, this is a fragrance from the House of City Rhythm. And if you've seen my page before, you know how I feel about Miami, Manhattan, Austin. The list goes on. New Orleans, listen, City Rhythm's been on it. They've been on this so much, in fact, that when the folks over at Camp David were trying to think of new products to put in their shop on the grounds, right? One of the ideas that came up was a fragrance unique to Camp David. And it's funny how you just never know who's looking at your work, because oddly enough, somebody up there was watching different Facebook groups to talk about fragrance, and City Rhythm popped up as a house that creates fragrances that really encapsulate an entire city, an area, all those little nuances that make a place special in the way that it is. And they said, hey, let's reach out to this guy. So it's crazy. If you know Niles, you know the house, the story behind, this immigrant kid who came here to this country years ago, working in New York City, just trying to create something, and find himself years later, creating a fragrance that the U.S. president is making. There's something really poetic about that. But anyway, we're not here for the poems. We're here for the fragrance. So here's the box, right? And you see there the official presidential retreat seal on it, American flag, and City Rhythm. This is the Camp David. It's the official fragrance of Camp David. And man, again, I'm really honored to have the opportunity to do this, because there are not many ways to get these fragrances here. Again, if you are on the grounds, you will get it if you pass by store. But I was able to get this based on my the fact that I'm a veteran, right? And shout out to Niles for keeping that in mind and making that link. Well, if I can give it to veterans, I'll reach out to Rico, and here we are. And yeah, the blue bottle is dope. No, it's not a blue fragrance. It's just blue juice. And again, that the official presidential retreat seal here on the front. And if you've seen the other the City Rhythm bottle, the aesthetic is similar, just the glass is different, the juice is different, and that seal that really stands out. Such a unique bottle to have, and again, super honored to have it. But for those who would love to know what this smells like, but will never get the opportunity, we're going to talk about that. So with this fragrance, we're going to just start off as we typically do. We're going to go with notes. So the notes here are going to be honey, tobacco, and gaiac, right? In the mid, you're going to get toasted marshmallow, wild geranium. And in the base, you're going to get warm sandalwood, vanilla, and woody amber. So what was the goal here? The goal was, once again, to take Camp David and put it in a bottle. So how do you do that? Well, you had to get Niles into Camp David. So he did all the background check, all that secret squirrel good stuff, just to put boots on the ground and really take in the environment. And what he got ultimately was this. So what is this? What does it do on skin? And how does tobacco, honey, gaiac, toasted marshmallow, geranium, sandalwood, vanilla, and woody amber paint this picture of Camp David? And to me, I've never had the opportunity to be there, but I get what's going on there. This definitely paints a picture of, first of all, sophistication. Like the notes used here, it just feels like before you actually get to the camp, before the president takes off that tie and gets comfortable, you have that real mature feel. It almost feels kind of leathery with that tobacco up top and that geranium. It's very sophisticated in that way, almost kind of rosy. But that honey, that gaiac, it starts to make it a little sweeter and denser also. So it feels earthy. It feels kind of green. It feels sweet though because of the honey as well. But that tobacco, the sweetness, but the earthiness of it's strong. And as it starts to dry down, that toasted marshmallow comes in. Again, another level of sweetness, but it's toasted. So it has some of that cooked up vibe in it. It's a little smokier than you would a typical marshmallow smell. It's not going to be over candy type of marshmallow. And then that sandalwood comes in, giving it a heavier base. That vanilla is going to help sweeten it a little bit. When I say help sweeten it, that mid, by the time you get to that mid, you're going to get a nice smoky feel like you are outdoors doing a campfire and really roasting those marshmallows yourself. So it's sweet, it's smoky, it's kind of green, so you're getting that feel with that guaiac, with that geranium, woody, floral, tobacco-y, sweet, smoky. It really gives you a lot of different aspects of the outdoors, right? But here's the thing, right? When you don't try to consider the outdoors and you're just thinking of the notes itself, and you think about tobacco, and you think about geranium, and you think about woody amber, right? These are all notes that you're gonna find in very, sophisticated masculine fragrances. So when you don't try to make the connection with the outdoors, you can find yourself visualizing a very dapper, suited up type of individual when you smell this fragrance. However, it's versatile in that way. And again, like I say, every time I get close to it, I get some of those lighter touches, almost fruity, kind of sweeter note. I guess that geranium is really making that happen. But as I get away, I really get more of that smoky, outdoorsy vibe. It does a lot, which is a little bit right. So I'm not talking about a dry down. I'm talking about close, far. It does different things. It's really pleasant. I really, really enjoy this. And I will say this, while I would like to say that all fragrances are unisex, and they are because anybody can put it on, I really enjoy how masculine this comes off on me. I really do think it has more of a masculine touch. The sweetness make it to where, yeah, you can make it unisex, and it's not going to be overly masculine. It's not going to be one of those 1980s, brute kind of, but it does, I feel, it's a gentlemanly kind of dapper scent while still giving, living up to the expectation of those notes and what they represent. Ultimately, I think this is a really, really great fragrance. I think it's amazing that, again, the journey of a perfume house that, just recently, if you think about it, it's been like, 3 years since City Rhythm hit the scene. And man, to be where they are, I mean, who else do you know is making fragrances for Camp David? Nobody, because this is the first one. This is the first fragrance that Camp David has ever had. So not only is he doing something that's so exclusive, but he's the first one to actually do it. This is a game changer type of thing. Will I always have this fragrance in my collection? Probably. Am I going to spray it? Seldom. Maybe if I have any, retiree type of events. But other than that, man, who would in the right mind really waste all of this? There's no backup to this. There's no going back to the store and getting this. This is such an explosive fragrance. Once again, big shout out to Niles and everything that he's doing. And it's just great to see that he's getting that recognition at those levels. And like I said, you never know who's watching your work. So always put out your best work at all times. Because, man, just doing your thing, somebody acknowledges you, and next thing you know, you're making products that the president is wearing. It's just crazy to me, man. But that's really the fragrance. Now, if you do have any questions, and I can only assume that there would be a lot of questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. You can throw them into the comments. If you like this, thumbs up it. If you like this and you're not already subscribed to the channel, do me a solid, meet me 50-50. Subscribe to the channel because there's more content to come. It's about to be a busy summer. There's a lot of fragrances coming out. And one house that's coming out with some more fragrances is City Rhythm. And guess what? Those fragrances coming out, you can purchase. So Camp David aside for a moment, I also received 2 samples. One of them is currently already out. One of them will be out shortly. And that is the Spain and the Puerto Rico. So which one does Rico like more? Well, considering he's Puerto Rican, probably Puerto Rico. I wish I can say that. I really, really wish I do. And don't get me wrong, this is fire. I like it. My girl likes it. My girl likes it on me. But that Spain, it's hurting my heart not to say Puerto Rico, but I gotta keep it honest, man. It's like when I had to do Miami versus Manhattan with Niles. I want to say Manhattan because of New York, but man, Miami was the killer, right? Come on, we know Miami was a killer. This Spain, man, this Spain is fire. Puerto Rico does what it's supposed to do. It's tropical, it's sweet. That it has a sandalwood that you can smell from down the block. It's just so pleasant, man. But this Spain, this is a masculine, sexy vibe right here. Will I do a full review on these down the road? Yes, but I'm gonna tell you off the bat, both of them are fire. If you haven't tried Spain, you absolutely should. Get a sample. You're going to love Spain. Puerto Rico, if you love tropical, summertime fragrances, and if you're like me and you're Puerto Rican, you're gonna find reasons to love it. This is a great fragrance. This is a super awesome tropical fragrance. But for me, for that reason, it's limited in the where and when I would use it. Whereas Spain for me is this is like a signature fragrance. This is all year round for me. This is, there's a lot to unpack with both of them. There's not a full review of either, obviously. It's just putting it out there. If you're into something new and you want something sexy and masculine, my opinion, of course, Spain. And if you're down with that fruity, tropical, coconutty, sandalwood, absolutely sexy, Puerto Rico. I'm going to keep playing around with these and maybe the feelings will shift back and forth. And obviously, I want to lean to Puerto Rico, so that's what might happen. But check these out. I can't say check out Camp David, but there may be an opportunity to get some samples. Follow us on Instagram because me and Niles is probably going to link up, talk about it a little bit. And if you're on there, you might get a sample of this and it'll be probably the most exclusive sample you're ever going to experience. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I know I went a little longer than I typically do, but there was a lot to unpack. There's a little bit of storytelling in there, and there was some, at the end, some little goodies to talk about. I hope you enjoyed the content. I already asked y'all to follow, to subscribe, and leave y'all comments. Y'all already know the business. It's fragged out, swagged out, and I'm out.